Uh, well, we're excited to get things started for us, but we really enjoyed watching Sacred Heart at Presbyterian last night. I thought they did a great job of, of trying to get to the next game. Sacred Heart played their hearts out. Presbyterian did a great job at just making big plays at the end of the basketball game and bringing a great crowd. So it was kind of cool to see a big crowd in the playing game, and we look forward to playing them, as well as enjoying this atmosphere with our fans.
Open up for questions for just the student athletes at this time. Raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. If you have questions for Bree or Ashlyn, and we'll go to Pete here in the front first.
Pete Yakabelli, Associated Press. Bree, what do you remember about the Presbyterian game from December, and does that give you guys a good feeling going into tomorrow?
Yeah. They played really hard, moved the ball really well. Their post player is really good as well, and they got a good guard play as well. And going to the game tomorrow, I think we're level-headed and just locked in.
Chris.
Ashlyn, with Camilla out tomorrow, you're probably going to get more playing time than normal. What kind of opportunity do you have to build some momentum for the rest of the tournament?
I don't really know. She's going to be back, so it's not really like it's going to be forever. So
Is there a good chance you're going to get off to a strong start?
it's like the whole tournament.
For you personally,
Good to
just
step on that.
Yeah.
good
I mean, it's going to be like regular.
Other questions?
What's regular, Ash?
Regular is like, I don't know. I don't think it really is going to make a difference. It's like, yeah, she's going to miss this game, but I'm just going to have to play.
Pete, do you have a question?
For Ashlyn and Bree again, how are these kind of, I guess, almost 2 weeks or week and a half off or away from actual games? What did you guys do during that time to kind of keep yourself sharp heading into tomorrow?
Ashlyn, would you take that first?
We had, how many days did we had? Like 4 days off. So me personally, I kind of took some of those days off, but I did go in the gym maybe one time. But I really just chilled. I didn't really go anywhere. We just took some time just to myself with no basketball. But I still had school, so.
Bree?
Away from the 4 days that we had off, the practices leading up to today have been good. We've been very competitive, lots of defense, and just getting back to how we've been playing. But Coach, like I said, Coach has been on us and making sure that that we're just perfecting the things that we need to perfect.
Other questions? Seeing none, I guess y'all can go back to the locker room. And the locker room is open for South Carolina at this time as well.
Y'all get to do both. Y'all get to do both. Y'all get to do both.
And we'll take questions now for Coach Staley. Raise your hand, Pete.
Dawn, what can you guys use from the Presbyterian game back in December that can help tomorrow, or do they look like a entirely different team than they did a few months ago?
They do. I mean, they look confident. Anytime you play somebody once, the second time around, you feel much better. I think the novelty is worn off of us playing each other. So, I'm excited just to get things started. I'm excited that they advanced because they brought a lot of fans in Colonial Life Arena last night. I had a chance to meet with them as well prior to their game. I think it was Tuesday night. Great team, great coaching staff.
You met with Sacred
I did. Just great being being a part of their NCAA tournament appearance. They're excited. I mean, they're not going to back down, which I like. But we're home. We got a job to do. We got to play well. We got to get off to a great start. We got to fine tune some things that haven't been working for us probably over the past couple of weeks. So hopefully, the fact that we got a little bit of rest and we ramp back up, that we can get off to a good start.
Let's go to the back over there.
Hi, Don. Katie Barnes, ESPN. For you all this season, the ball's bounced your way a couple of times in a good way. What do you think is it about your team that has kind of given you all this air of inevitability?
We work hard. We're a hard-working team. I don't think we're a team that shortcuts anything. We're not a coaching staff that shortcuts anything. And sometimes the basketball gods favor that. I think preparation has allowed us to get lucky sometimes, and that helps. And I think our players play free. Like they play as if there are no consequences, and that is a gift and a curse for someone like me. Like I like to prep. I like to make sure that we are contributing to the outcome of each and every game. And I know they do, but if you have a conversation with them, it is like they got short-term memory. They only think about the winning part of it. They don't really think about how we won or how we could have lost. So it's worked for this team thus far. I don't know if it'll work throughout the tournament. So that's where we come in and just try to get them to jolt them into just kind of feel a little bit of what we're feeling as coaches.
Chris?
Same question I had for Ashlyn. What would it mean to get a big game from her tomorrow to sort of boost her confidence going into the rest of the tournament?
She needs to play well. Like, she really does. She needs to get back to the Ashlyn of old, just dominating on both sides of the basketball. For us, for her, she's, over the course of this season, found a strong voice in our locker room and on our bench. And when she's engaged in that way, we're a much better basketball team. And when we don't hear it, we're not as good.
Chuck?
Hey, Don Chappell with the State. I know you said in your statement it was unfortunate that Sanai's time with y'all was so short. Just any other thoughts on her as she officially enters the portal now?
No, I wish her well. She's she's allowed me to be a part of that process of finding another school that fits her and will welcome her. Once you're a part of our family, you'll always be a part of our family. Whether you stick out the 4, 3, 2, I don't know how many years you could possibly be in our program, but she'll always have me as a resource. So.
Go to the back again.
Hi. A couple of years ago, you and I talked for a story about the preferences of the marketplace for a certain type of athlete, or an athlete looking a certain type of way. Given the success in that marketplace that Malaysia has had, I'm wondering what your thoughts on the meaning of that moving forward for women's basketball.
I just feel like women's basketball is in a super great place where, everybody's welcome. If you can play, they look at your ability to play first now. If you take Malaysia, for instance, I think she is probably I would say she is the player that our fans stay in their seats the longest, because they don't know what she's going to do, and they anticipate her wowing them for every second of every game. And for that, she has You know, I appreciate that part of her. Like, I really do, because she handles it extremely well. And I don't think she really knows the power of her play that impacts it's her community because she's from here, but it impacts our entire game that's probably not being told. It's being told here locally, but probably not nationally.
Pete?
Dawn, I'm guessing you didn't spend a lot of time talking with your players about what happened at the end of the LSU game up in Greenville. But how did you address that, or did you address that quickly and then move on? And was it fair that Camilla is the only one who's going to miss a game, and nobody else? I mean, how do you see that?
Obviously we talked about it immediately. I don't let things linger. You hit it, and then you move on. You talk to each and every player. I didn't talk to them individually. I talked to our players as a team, and we just kind of went through why it happened and what we needed to do differently if presented with that circumstance. And then, obviously I talked to everybody. I talked to the commissioner. I talked to Tiffany Daniels. I talked to Lisa Madeline. I talked to all of them, and it does have the appearance of just Camilla takes the fall for it. Did she deserve it? Yes, she deserved to be disqualified, no doubt about it. But there were some other parties that should have been penalized. I don't know penalized to the point of disqualification, but definitely ejection for that particular game. So I don't know how they came. I don't know how. Well, I know how they assessed it, and if they had to do it all over again, I do think they would come up with something different. But it leaves Camilla hanging.
Other questions, Pete?
Dawn, totally different question or totally different topic. A lot of coaches and if you get to this point, obviously you're happy. This is what you want to do. You want to get to the NCAA tournament. The new realities of our sport, the NIL and portal and things like that. Does it make your job, I don't know, less satisfying or more of a challenge? How do you deal with these changes that are there?
Well, I'm drawn to challenges. So bring on whatever it is. The portal just opened up on Monday. Selection Sunday was on Sunday. And you have to juggle all of these things. A couple of our players got some NIL deals that just hit the press. It's a new way of coaching. And if you don't have strong relationships with your team, it makes it really, really hard to be able to do all those things. If you don't have a strong staff that has a strong connection with your team, it gets hard because you're thinking about who's going to jump in the portal. You're thinking about how you prep for NCAA tournament. For me, I'd be surprised if any one of our players decides to get in the transfer portal. Not from lack of playing time or anything like that. It's just how they're treated. They're treated like professionals. They're treated. They're communicated with. They're listened to, and I think it's cool. I think we've as a staff we've prepped for times like these. That's a Meek Mill play off a Meek Mill song. Y'all know nothing about that.
Any other questions for Coach? Go back to Chapel.
What over y'all head, Somebody got a question?
Chapel. You got a few more.
So I appreciate it. Last one, you've been coaching with Boyer for so long now. Just kind of speak to her impact on the program and kind of y'all's relationship as fellow coaches.
Yeah, Boyer and I are an old couple, seriously. Like we've we've definitely taken years off our lives. I've taken some off of her, she's taken some off of mine. But at the end of the day, there's not a coach that works harder, not one coach that works harder that I know. When I want to not think about basketball, she's always thinking about basketball. She's always thinking about things that I'm not particularly thinking about. And we got a great balance of what it is to appreciate the game. Like, we love the game. And I don't think, I know that I would not have been as successful without her expertise, her tirelessness, she thinks about every single, like, she in the crevices when it comes to what she thinks about and what she covers. And it really is satisfying and comforting to know that Boyer is, like, right by my side. So if anybody says or does anything to me, watch out. I don't have to say a word. Boyer will, even if it's one of us family members, me and Gamecocks, Boyer will come to the rescue. So she's my rider. She's my rider all the way through. Thanks for the question.
Thank you, Coach.